everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, today I'm going to be doing the long-awaited brow tutorial, how I do my brows. So, my brows are a little bit of a unique thing as everyone's are to their own individual face, and everyone likes their brows a little bit of a different way. This is not a 100% across the board, every kind of brow, you know, fix-all thing. It's just how I do mine. So, I'll sort of show you and hopefully you can pick up a few tips if you're interested in getting a little bit more of that defined brow. So first up, let's break down what I've done exactly with my brows in terms of maintenance and plucking and shaping, and we can sort of see what I do and why I feel and, you know, the kind of things that I do with cosmetics after this. So, first of all, if I take, say, a flat object like my pen, now we all know the shape of the brow should be from the edge of the nose, not the side of the nostril, but here, straight up. This would be where the brow starts, straight through. So if I'm looking straight down the barrel of the camera like this, and I put my pen straight up from that side of the nose, straight up, and it goes past the iris, that's where the arch should begin. See? And then if we have a look where the tail ends, it should be from the tip of the nose out through and straight out. So if you have a look when I do this, see how there's a whole bunch of blank space there? I have actually underplucked my brows, so there's a big old bald patch there. And the reason is here, I'll show you an earlier photo of myself. Can you see with these brows, all my brow hairs grew away from my face. They grew up towards my hairline and more towards my ears. So I could never get those really beautiful sharp pointed brows that I so longed for. So I went for it and I plucked my brows. Now I personally would say that if you're considering, you know, shortening your brows or doing anything like that, just be very, very careful with it because one wrong pluck could result in an absolute nightmare. So just be really, really slow and careful. This has been a very, very gradual build. I've been doing this for, you know, months and months, years and years, to eventually get to a spot where my brows are really happy. But this is sort of how I've shaped mine. So you can see it sort of comes up past the arch and there's just a little bit of the tail there, but there's not a full tail. So that's where I fill it in, and that's how I get my own personal beautiful sharp brow that I'm really happy with. Okay, so that's enough of that. On to the actual cosmetic side of things. So first of all, I take a brow wax, a brow pencil, anything that's really beautiful and rich and creamy, and I put that down first to act as like almost like an emollient for any powder to stick to. So personally, lately I've been actually using a really cheap brow pencil. This actually cost me, I think, $2 or $1. It's by OXX Cosmetics, which you can get from Kmart here in Australia, and this one is in dark brown. So this is an eyebrow pencil. It's very, very, very soft. So I never just draw on with like that because you'll find you cannot get any kind of sharp, precise line because it just smudges so fast. So what I tend to do is I tend to draw it onto my hand like this, much like you would if you were trying to create a cream base for an eyeshadow. So, next I take the Browtox contouring brush, which is by Napoleon Purtis. I really, really like this brush because it's very, very fine and precise. It's a little synthetic angled brush on one side, and then on the other side you've got a little spoolie mascara comb, and we can use that as well to groom the brows. So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the synthetic side and I'm going to pick up this product, like so, and really slick up the brush. So my first suggestion is, do your arch to your tip first. Don't wait till last. Don't go this way. Go this way with your colouring in. That way you can, if you go too heavy, too strong, too fast, out here it doesn't matter as much. If you go too heavy and too strong here, you look like Bela Lugosi. My second suggestion is do the brow first that's on the opposite side to your dominant hand. This motion here is much more difficult and not as fluid as if we do this. So by doing this brow first, we can ensure that this one will match this one. There's nothing worse than having your first brow going on, you're like, girl, this looks so good, I'm banging, and then you do your second one and it looks something like this. Yeah, this is such a good brow. I'm so glad that I did this one first. Hopefully they match up. What the fuck? So we're going to start off with this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my product with my angled brush and I'm just going to very, very gently, starting from my arch, I'm just going to draw a straight line, straight down. And I'm actually going to create a triangle. So I'm going to go again and create a little hollow triangle. Just like that, see? So then I'm going to go ahead and fill in that hollow triangle. So that's my first one on. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the second one. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I always start at the top of the arch, and I draw my straight line down. I stop and I assess. Okay, are they symmetrical? Yep, they're both coming down on the same angle. That's good. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my little hollow triangle. Just like that. And then, picking up a bit more product, I'm going to colour in my little hollow triangle. So the tips are on. So next I'm going to start about halfway along from the base to the arch. I'm just going to be on top of the brow, and I'm going to draw a straight line. And I'm going to curve it and connect it up to what I've done so far. And I'm just going to very gently feather down, stop about there. Next step is to come in from underneath, and using the angled brush with the pointed part down towards your nose, I'm going to do little sweepy motions. I'm going to blend back into the arch, just like this. And I stop a little bit early. Don't take it all the way down to the base of the brow. So this is what we've got so far. You can see I've created my prototype of my brow. What I'm going to go through now and do is I'm going to take a Q-tip. I'm going to tidy up underneath each brow and make sure they're really beautiful and crisp. So first things is I can see this brow here is a little bit thicker just here. So I'm just going to take, applying a little bit of pressure there. I'm just removing a little bit of what I don't want. Just like that. And I'm going to just very gently smudge the cream across. And what that's going to do is that's going to give this beautiful gradient effect. So I'm going to go in with a little concealer brush, and this is Select Cover Up by MAC Cosmetics, and this is in the shade NW15. And I'm just going to very gently conceal up under the brow. So you can see the difference between this brow here and something that's a little bit more crisp. We're going to powder that down so it's not as bold as well. So next I'm taking Espresso by MAC Cosmetics, which is a dark chocolate colour, which you can see it's sort of like that sort of a shade. So it's a little bit darker, and I'm going to take this darker shade and I'm just going to very gently run it through the bald areas. What I'm trying to do is, because I've got no hair in this section of my brow, I'm trying to darken it so this section matches this section, so the tail matches the base to the arch. Can you see how adding that little bit more chocolate on that side blends so much nicer than when you've just got the colour, because I can see pretty much about here is where my brow hair stops, so I'm just concealing that by adding that dark piece in there. So if I step back, you can see this is the finished result. However, I'm going to actually add a little bit more colour into them because my hair is quite bright red at the moment, so you could very easily do this, especially people who've got coloured hair or anything like that. I would personally recommend taking like a matte eyeshadow, so I'm going to take Love Plus by Sugar Pill, which is a very, very matte, red, vivid eyeshadow. I love it to death. I'm going to take it on my same little brush, making sure there's no excess powder or cream. I'm going to pick it up on that brush, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to tint them. So when I step back, you can see the difference between my tinted brow, which is on this side with the bright red, and the one that's just left by itself with the chocolate colours. And that is pretty much it for my eyebrows. So if you have any questions at all, make sure you leave them down in the comments section below, and I'll endeavour to answer them as best as I can. Please thumbs up, subscribe for more beauty videos from my channel. I love you very much, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon. This is Davey and his brows signing off. Thank you.